رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم سلم نبيا ورسولا.
The general outline, laws of learning, or commandment, what I call the 10 commandments of learning. And we're not going to go into details. We just come back and pick them one by one and then explain a little. Then we give an example of a formula or a strategy that is formulated from these 10 principles. On listening and then also on reading. On reading, I will give the example of the PSQR system of learning. Then on listening, I will give the example of the listening system of listening. Commandment number 1 is the law of intention, interest, and ikhlas. These 3 things. The law of intention, interest, and ikhlas, that is the first commandment. The second commandment is the law of planning. The law of planning. The third commandment is the law of time, the basic raw material that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to each and every one of us is time. It's time. Everybody, all of you. You need time to learn. If there is no time, you cannot learn. Okay? It's a raw material. You need books. You need analysis. Some of you have books, some don't have. Some of you have money, some don't have. But Allah has given everybody what? Time. Unless it takes your life away. Basic raw material, the law of time. The fourth law is the law of sensory registration. Sensory registration. The fifth law is the law of comprehension. The sixth law is the law of organization. The seventh law is the law of repetition and over learning. These are 2 separate laws. But most of the time, with my experience, anytime I talk about the law of repetition and I talk about the law of overlaying, I see that at the end of the lectures, students ask questions that seem to suggest that these 2 things are the same thing. But they are not the same thing. So now I'm thinking of boxing them in the same law, so that you understand. As I explain the law of repetition, then I explain the law of overlaying. Then the other law is the law of memorization. Then the law of utilization. The law of revision. Independently, these are laws, general golden principles, that if we don't have them in any formula at all that we have formulated as a strategy for learning, then indeed our learning won't be effective.
You are the only one, your promise is always true. You don't need anyone, but we're all in need of you. And I sincerely pray to be among the ones you love. And until my final day, I say in all my prayers, Raditu